what we know. We basically become like a kid in a candy shop. We want to learn, we want to study, we want to understand. So I got into so many different modalities, meditations, and different kind of teaching, looking for my path, because I felt there was something I had to discover. So that sense that there was something to discover as a kid that just resurfaced after, I would say, more than 35 years. So in 2019, I decided to quit my job. I was at the peak of my career. Many told me I was crazy. Probably some still believe so. And that voice is because that voice inside me had become too loud. So, and when you have a career and at that level, traveling all the time, at least for me, there was no time and space to dedicate to understand and get the answer I wanted. So basically, that's why I decided to give myself that. I took 1 year off, which I thought was going to be 1 year off. We're talking about 2019. A few things have changed since. And I put my search on steroids. So in 1 year, I did everything that was on my other to-do list. So I went to Bali, I wrote a book. I went to do my first 10 days of Vipassana, living as a monk. I went to study with every single teacher who was resonating with me. I got into integrative nutrition, holistic studies, and still it was like there was always one more thing to do, one more things to study, one more things. I never felt I was ready. I never felt that something had actually filled the gap. And I realized after that obviously I wasn't on my path, I was on somebody else's path, and having my curious mind obviously kept me engaged into all those research and studying experiences, but none of them were giving me the answer that I was looking for. And then in 2000, a few months after, my mom and her friend, they gave me a brush. I have to say, my mom was an artist, and probably that's why she pushed me away from a career that she found difficult. And she gave me a brush, and she basically said, let's start together. We were here in Italy in the countryside, there were hills and beautiful sunset, and I started painting with her and a friend. Obviously abstract. Obviously, why I'm saying obviously, because I never studied art. So I never went into getting a technique as an artist. And also because abstract, I will discover later, is the language that I feel more true to me. That was just, a beginning, something I did, something made me feel good. I felt, oh, this is nice. I feel relaxed. It's something I should do more of it. But I never thought it was going to change my life forever. And what happened was that in 2020, like many of us, with COVID and lockdown, things changed. So we went through a period of feeling unsafe. We had lost in our family. So there was intense grieving, there was fear, and we couldn't come back to Italy despite the loss in our family. So we felt totally stuck. And that's when I started painting day in and day out. And that's when I started rediscovering what I had lost. Dots started connecting, answers started surfacing. And I started remembering what I needed to remember to have the sense of being full. And that was something that truly changed me. I never expected that art was going to be my teacher. Many tells you when the student is ready, the teacher will show up. And I always thought that my teacher was going to be a person. And that's what I had been looking for long. But I never thought it was going to be something, and especially it wasn't going to be art. Since then, I basically turned full-time artist, not immediately. The turning point was the passing of my mom last year. It was very sudden, unexpected, and traumatic. And since she passed, she started sending me signs. And those signs were all pushing me to get onto the creative path in a serious way, not as a hobby, not as a side business or something that was not as important as what I had done at the moment. So I had to go through a change in my mindset. I had to go through and face all I had learned and unlearn it. understanding that creativity is not something that is just a hobby or nice to have or is only for talented people. Creativity is necessary for human development and for our wellness and our well-being. And that was not something that's so easy, I have to say. With all the baggage I had brought with me, especially in my career, it took me quite long, and I'm still working on it. So probably this will never finish as a process. So after that, as I said, I became a full-time artist. I'm using creativity as a modality for healing, both for myself, but also for my collectors, and also in the same way in which we are doing an introduction today on the through workshops and classes, helping people recover and rediscover their creativity and their freedom to self-express, so that they can reconnect the dots and they can find the unity that we lost. Now, we don't need to have a burnout or to travel to India to use our creativity. I think today we can basically start doing something. I think if you all were called here, it means that creativity already speaks to you and you already have understood the power of it. So, and we shouldn't wait to have that turning points in our life to push us to the other side. Now, since all of this have happened and so much have changed in a very intense way over those months, I basically start asking myself why it worked, what happened, and how can I replicate it with other people, and how can I shift it from a personal experience to actual impact. So as a curious mind, as I've always have, I started contacting a neuroscientist, scientists. I joined an association called ICATE, which is an international association for creative arts in health and education. I got through them the possibility to speak with some of the best writers and scientists who are all discovering and studying the power of the creative arts. And when I say creative arts, it doesn't mean only painting. It means writing, it means theatre, it means writing. I said already writing. So writing, singing, theatre, and dancing. So it's not just one modality. It's the modality that we resonate the most with. And it's funny how humans always knew that art is something that we are hardwired to. If we look at caves and cave paintings, we know that this is one of the very first things that we did across time and across cultures, and we never stopped as humans, even before developing language and speaking. So there must be something that is really, truly innate in us. And I think artists and creative people knows more about this than actual science. Science is picking up. There is an area, if you're interested, which is called the neuroaesthetics, which is studying the impact of art, the arts and beauty on our brain. And a lot has been discovered, but we are just at the beginning. So we have discovered that art makes us healthier, happier, smarter. 45 minutes of art making reduce our stress hormones, cortisol, by 25%. So there is a lot now that has been actually put on paper and recognized. It's basically also, it's what I would say in a nutshell, if I had to summarize, is basically an essential part for our mental health, both in terms of helping addressing things like depression, loneliness, anxiety, and anything of this sort. And it's the best things that we don't need to be good at it. We just need to do it. We don't need to have a talent. You know, that's something else. And in my experience, I basically started organizing the wellness, the impact of art into three clusters. So the first one is the one I told you, which is basically affecting our body and mind. So addressing those life stressors that help us having a healthier life. The second one is very important, and as I think is what helped me connecting those dots, is the freedom to fully express. We always been asked to behave in a certain way, to say certain things, to act in a certain modality, and we kind of been trained out of self-expression. So reclaiming that freedom, the sense of help us making sense of being human. And here's where we can foster self-awareness, is where we can look into personal growth, is where we can restore the unity I mentioned before. And finally, and that's why I feel so connected to abstract, it's what I say abstract versus linear. We've been trained to think in a linear way of looking at certain type of possibility. Retraining our brain through creativity and imagination allow us to widen up and look at new direction and make our imagination wider. I never thought I would become a full-time artist, and probably if I had taken a different path, I would have not reached this conclusion. Now, through what I've done and through the dots reconnecting and remembering that this is who I become, and it's not something new, it's just something that I had forgotten. So that's in a nutshell how art can help us. I want to show you some of the examples. So you might see some of the art behind me, which is very gestural, which is very I usually tend to do when I'm in the moment. All my art is not just for the sake of making art. There is a full ritual that goes into it, and we will start experimenting some of it today together. But it's basically this ritual of intention before, so the energy, your hand, this is something that comes also from the Zen and Japanese culture of making art, comes from your belly into your hands. So you basically recreate and bring to life some sort of energy, and you bring what is invisible to the visible. And you charge it, you know, so very important looking at what science has proved. It's not just the art making that makes us healthier, it's also the looking at art. So it's very important that a piece of art that you choose for your place, as you need to be aware whether it carries something that is positive or negative. Recently, for instance, I had a buyer, a collector, who was very interested in a piece, and I didn't want to let it go because it was made in the period of grieving after my mom passed. And I knew that the energy of the piece wasn't a good energy. So the piece looked beautiful, yes, but it wasn't carrying the right energy. So I wasn't ready to let that piece go in somebody else's place. So, and this is for me, it's very important. Everything that I do has to carry that energy, has to carry that sense of beauty. Here I have another example. This is something I haven't showed. If you look at my Instagram page or my website, you will not see it. So it's something that is very personal. It's a language, and this goes back into the abstract language. Some clients of mine believe that is a light language. I know there is something that doesn't come from me while I'm doing this. And it's funny that is the first piece is when somebody comes to my studio, they're always sold. And so that's why you don't see it on my Instagram, because they're gone. This is a copy that I kept, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's basically a language that I'm able to read it after it's done. And the people that buy it and look into it, they're also able to have answers and see things. It's very simple. It's very kind of abstract. It's one line only. I never remove the hand when I'm doing it. And I'm in a total trance when it's done. So I go into a trance mode while I'm doing it. So those kind of pieces are pieces that carry energy, and so people can feel it. And why I'm saying that is because everything that we do in life has to become a ritual. So whatever you put out creatively, starting with an intention, starting with what is that you want your creativity to bring to life, not just as a piece, but as a creation that has a meaning, as an impact. It's what I believe we should start from. So without further ado, I think we can start going into some exercise. We only have half an hour, so we'll keep it simple. And obviously, if you are interested to go deeper, we can do it. I know that Kat will share some gifts from us after. So if you feel that you resonate or you want to know more about the process, I'm always available to share what I've learned. But for today, basically, we're going to do an exercise which is called the energy made visible, which I mentioned at the very beginning. So basically, we will start with actually, let me take a step back. So first of all, as I said, we don't need to be artists to do this. Actually, the least we know about art making, the better it is. I was tempted a few times as I became an artist to go and do some proper study and get certification. You know, the syndrome, the imposter syndrome keeps kicking in, I think, to everybody. sometimes when we are at our weakest. And I always told myself I will never, at least at this moment, go into this process, because I think what is being created, it is real, and it is true, just because I don't have some construct in my mind or rules that I need to follow. So that's why it's important that in whatever we're going to do today, you follow your creative impulse. There is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad. There is only self-expression. So there is just being, and that's what we're going to do today. So you cannot say that my essence is better than yours or vice versa. You know, we can just be, and we can just express, and we need to honor that. So we will do some mark making. Mark making, which for me is the most meaningful expression of rediscovering myself. I showed you the piece earlier, but it also goes back to the understanding of the importance of semiotic and why mark making was so important, even from the Homo sapiens. To keep it simple without going into some deep discussion, and we keep it linked to the way in which our body moves. The body movement reflect our emotional states. So our movement reflect our breathing, our heartbeats, the emotional qualities that we are channeling. Our body is rhythm, and we exist in this rhythm. So we respond through rhythm, to rhythm, so through movement of the line. And this line carry our history, it carry our intense present, it carries our future. And we cannot make things better unless if we cannot see them, and we cannot see what's going on. So making those lines and starting following those lines will allow us session by session to remember and to connect the dots. And that's why it's so important. It's not just a line, you know, it's an expression of our emotion and expression of our beings. When I said at the beginning of the art making that's there is no good or bad, this doesn't stop. This is one of the main rules. So the commitment, there is no comment agreement. So no comment agreement means at the end I will ask whoever is inclined to share some of what they've created. There is no comment, not even in our heads, and there is no, also what is most important, no comment with our own heads when we are creating. So the inner critic will come up. He always does, he's always there to protect us. So just acknowledge it if he comes. I know, tell your inner critic, thank you. I know you're trying to be helpful, but I will continue and respect my creative impulse. So the no comment agreement is not only towards the others, but is also towards ourselves, because this is the only way to allow us our full creativity and full expression to come out and to find the unity I mentioned. So we're gonna start, keep with you, we start with writing an intention first, so, and then we move, there are 3 phases to what we're gonna do today, about 7 minutes each. We set the intention first, then we go into art creation, and then we do what I call witness writing. So we're gonna witness what we have done, and we gotta write about it. So the first, so keep the paper with you and the colors. If you don't have colors, don't worry, even a pen, a pencil is enough. So anything that allows you to just set some creativity and some flow free. So why every session starts with intention writing? So it's not just about thinking about intention. So if you could get a pen and a piece of paper to write, we do intention writing to focus our creativity. So our creativity is our full power, and we want to aim it where it needs to help us. We want to be very focused on where we want to channel the creativity. It might lead you somewhere else. It might lead you, in most cases, it leads you exactly where you need to be, which sometimes is not exactly what you thought, but we start with that. So we're basically gonna start with free-flowing of writing. Nobody's gonna read it and nobody's gonna ask you to share it, so this is just for you. After 5 minutes of writing, I'm gonna give you a notice. You draw a line and you turn whatever you wrote in one statement. The statement needs to be positive, so you use positive language. If you are going through a stressful period and you wrote a lot about being worried, You obviously don't want to, I'm worried, but I want to write, I am calm, I am confident, and all in a tense present, in a way in which is already happening. So you're already embodying whatever intention you have as it is happening in the moment. So you might write, for instance, about feeling unsafe or not having enough clarity about the future. And your intention, I'll give you an example, will not be, I want to get more clarity, but it might be, I have more clarity about whatever is bothering you at the moment. Or if you feel stress and anxiety, you might want to explore what has the anxiety to teach you. So you might want to know more. Where is this anxiety coming from, and what is the role of this anxiety? We are not trying to change anything. So we are not trying to change your energy. We're not trying to push something outside that creates stress, and we don't want to create stress. We just want to let it out in the way in which it needs. So if we are ready, I can't see all of you, but it's fine for now. So just have the paper and colors close to you. Is there any question about the intention or anything that make you feel unclear about the next steps that you want to ask before we go next? Okay, so we can start. So we go into a brief preparation. It's a very short meditation just to get you into the mood. So I like to invite you to sit comfortably. Place your feet on the ground. Close your eyes if it's safe to do so. And feel yourself breathing. Slow down your breath so that your breathe in and breathe out becomes deep and slow. Place your hand on your heart, on your chest, and feel the rhythm of your breath. And keep breathing slowly. Now I'd like to recall your intention. And feel it and breathe into it. Let the breath flow from your chest to your arm, into your hand. You can now feel your heartbeat in your palm, on your fingers. Let your hand remind you of your own pace, of your own rhythm. Most of the stress in our life comes from the request of the world, stopping our natural flow. We are here to remember our flow, are here to express our own space and pace. You can now open your eyes and start writing. Write for the next 5 minutes. Whatever you feel, whatever you want to focus your creativity, just free flow writing. And I will give you a notice when the 5 minutes are almost over. So we almost finished the 5 minutes. We have 30 seconds left. So I'd like you to reach to a point where you feel comfortable finishing, and just read it over and turn it into one line sentence, your statement, your intention about where you want the creativity, your superpower to lead you. Just remember to be positive, tense, and in present time. Okay, so now we know where we want to focus our superpower, and we can start now taking the paper. I don't know if you have small paper, big paper. We'll start trying to stay within the paper you have, trying to stay within the papers you have. And once you finish, you can move to the next. But before you move to the next, make sure you feel that the space has been filled as you need. You might have colors. I have, one of the things I haven't said, that when I do this kind of things with you, I'm not separate from you. I create in the same way in which you do. So we are all students here. So I have those with me, but you can use anything you have. And how we're gonna make it? We're just basically gonna follow the creative impulse and energy. You should not have an idea about what you want to make, and we start from whatever seems fun and interesting, and then you see what happens. If you have colors, you can be picking the first color that draw your attention, that catch your eye, and just remember, process art, which is what we are doing here, is equally good whether you like it, you don't like it, or you don't care about it. So it's as good in all ways. So we start with the free drawing, without editing, without planning. Begin with any color, so you can start while I'm talking. We're gonna spend the next 5 to 7 minutes about it. Just stay curious and open. An image might come to your mind and you can draw it, or if it doesn't come, it's also good. It might look childish or ugly, it doesn't really matter. So just drawing, and feel free to do it without any judgment, any comment. And just notice as you write, as you do the marks on the paper, what this is revealing in terms of your energy. You can observe it, you can follow it, and just have fun. Start experimenting. There is no right or wrong. And making marks is drawing. That's what we used to do as a kid. So if you feel resistance, call the kid, your 3 years version of yourself to remind you how to do it. If you can't start, and sometimes I see this with trained artists or people who have studied art, use your non-dominant hand. So you have really no pressure about what is coming out. And yeah, just have fun. So we have 1 minute left. I'd like you to go to a stage where you feel comfortable stopping, and that doesn't need to be finished. You can always go back to it. So this is more just feeling comfortable to stop. Yeah, and I know it was quick. When we start doing this kind of things, we realize how much we can get quickly into a flow state. So the next and last step is what I mentioned earlier, witness writing. So I like you to be present with your drawing. Notice the parts that attract your attention. Place them in a place in which you can see them in front of you. See which parts have more energy. And I like to treat the painting, the drawing, or the lines as if it was a person. So ask the drawing if there is something that you need to know. What are your feelings? What do you need? And start writing. This writing is quick, is spontaneous. There is no censoring. There is no punctuation, no correction spelling. It can be just words, even not connected between each other. It can be a poem, it can be a sentence, it can be anything. As long as you don't remove your pen while writing, and keep writing for the next 5 minutes. And whatever comes is welcome. But do that while you look at the painting, or you have looked at the painting and you have started feeling the energy of what you've done. Looking into the places that draw your attention, the colors that draw your attention. And just write words, lines, sentence, or a poem, or whatever comes for the next 5 minutes. We have 1 minute left. So we almost reached the end of the 1 hour we had together. And usually at this point, we read to each other whatever we feel comfortable with, and we share what we have done. I will just ask if there is one person in the group who feels like showing what they've done and just sharing the question, the thoughts, or the feelings that might have come up during the process of art making that we had today. I think we only have time perhaps for one person. So if there is somebody who is willing to share as an opportunity to be seen, but to make also each other seen and supported, this is an opportunity to hear your own words come back to you. So just feel free. It's a safe space. Or if you don't feel like, you can raise, like I'm doing, what I've done, and say, I decide not to read and I decide not to share. It's your decision. Oh, nice. That was mine.
Oh, I love it. Are we allowed to comment now?
I don't know.
No, never.
Can you see mine? If
yes.
you don't have a volunteer, I can volunteer this.
Thank you, Laura.
This, Francesca, is my transformation from the dark place to the light.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing, Laura.
Very basic, but it was not easy. No basic.
There is no basic in transformation.
No.
So I want to thank you everybody for trusting me going through this process. This was just an introduction. Obviously, a full process takes a bit longer than what we did today. It takes few sessions. I know that Kat will share some gift from me after, so feel free to register because I'm giving a session free to whoever is interested to continue this process and exploring and going a bit deeper. There is some gift on my art, so just register and one Kat will send you the details. And if you want to follow my journey, which is obviously something that I will be very grateful for, as the journey of transforming and changing is never easy alone. I have a Facebook, Instagram page where I usually post regularly. I think Lucia wrote it on the page. If not, it's F for my first name and then it's Ciaudano, which is my surname. That's on Instagram and also my website if you feel like, but usually on my Instagram I'm more active and able to answer if you want to reach me. So thank you. Thanks for everybody to taking the time to honor the creativity, to go a bit deeper in understanding how creativity can help us. And thanks a lot, Kat, for giving me the opportunity, putting all of us together, and for Lucia to supporting and remembering, because I forgot about putting the music. So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Francesca. I really love that. And it was interesting, like when you asked us, I loved everything about this, but when you asked us, like, even turn it, like I actually ended up turning it upside down. I liked it better upside down because it was more messy, like more, I didn't want to understand it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know we kind of ran out of time for Q&A, but like I don't mind stealing a few more minutes from me to just explore. What really came forward for me was like the non-intention, the no intention, that's when I felt like the childlike play and joy again, you know, that's so powerful when you're in that space of there is no intention. I'm going to write it with the wrong hand. I'm going to do it upside down. I'm going to do everything I can to not make sense because we want to make sense of everything so badly.
Yeah, it's letting go of expectations. That's something that we are not usually trained. We are usually trained to give results, achieve something, do something. So we always look at the ending point. We never really enjoy the process of going through. And that's letting go. It's exactly what you said. It's letting go of the expectation of an outcome, and that's what makes us free.
Yeah, and present and in being able to enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, you said so much at the beginning. Hope I got that on the recording. So I'm like, there were so many mic drop moments at the beginning. So that was amazing. I just love your perspective on creative arts and the healing and mental health, aspect. And also as somebody who never thought of myself, I definitely own being a writer. I have never indulged in being artistic, or I have a whole story around that. So I just love the permission you create for people, that it doesn't have to have that. You don't have to.
I don't know if you can see this piece behind me. This is not being artistic at all. This is basically letting go. And then it came out with, I think, 10 pages from this piece telling me what I had to know when I moved back to Italy, So, and it's not about, obviously, this is not going to go for sale. It's not one of my pieces. This is just, healing for myself, having to know, connecting the invisible part with a visible part. And sometimes it takes days, even sometimes I go back to the writing I did time ago and really looking at what I did, some more answers come out. So sometimes it's not immediate, but it's something that always works. So if you keep it as a practice, it's the same as meditation, going to the gym. It's not something that you do once and all of a sudden you have answers. It's a practice, it's a journey.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. That was an amazing,
Thank you.
amazing start to our day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Well, thank you all for joining us. And Francesca, you've got her Instagram handle. Follow her if you're registered. Awesome. I'll be sending you emails so that you have a way to connect with her afterwards. She's got some special offers and gifts that she's rolling in and offering to the people here today. So you'll get an email on that. And if you haven't registered, go register so you get these special emails. And so I guess I'm going to jump in next. And so, hi, it's me again. And so for those of you just joining me now, I think everybody was here early. I know some people might be joining in the different intervals. My name is Kat Margulis. I am a podcaster, host of Passion Project. I'm an author, I'm a book coach, and I'm the host of this Magical You Retreat. And as a book coach, I help people write, finish, and publish their books. And I do that because I know how hard it is to write a book. I tell everybody it took me 5 years to write my first book, and it took me 4 months to finish it. And that's when I got out of my own way. And so that's what I share with people in my coaching. And when people people find out that I'm a writer, an editor, a book coach, I often hear kind of like, I was just sharing with Francesca about the art thing. Oh, I'm not a writer. Oh my God, that's amazing that you know how to do words. And, I wish I could write. And I try not to laugh because I think it's so funny, because I think everybody is an amazing writer. I think everybody's an incredible storyteller, and we tell each other stories all day long. We tell ourselves stories all day long about ourselves, about each other. We tell stories about our circumstances. We tell stories about our experience. Like I was just saying, we're meaning-making machines, so we are always giving a meaning, and that's a story that we're telling ourselves. And so what I'm going to invite you guys to today is the idea that we can actually choose the story that we tell ourselves about any of it. So you can actually rewrite your history, you can retell your present, and you can author your future. And that's what we're going to embark on here today during this hour that you've got with me. And so the way I'm going to do that is, thank you, Mom. The way I'm going to do that is through a common storytelling template called The Hero's Journey. And here's the thing, you are all heroes. Whether you acknowledge it or not, you're the hero of your own story. And so what is the story you're writing? We're going to explore that today. And maybe there's an opportunity to learn something about yourself along the way. and maybe there's a chance to tell a different story. So my first book was actually inspired by my own life and the people closest to me. It was my own hero's journey, although it didn't feel like it at the time. I was probably crying through most of the first 48 hours I started writing. I was in a place of transit. Shitty chapter right now. Here, Paul. I was in a, well, you know what? You're going to love this then, Paula. You're going to love this. I was in a place of transition. You know what that's like. I was a mom of 3, mortgage, all of that. And I lost my job again, as my mom and my sister who are here now. So anybody been there, and type X in the chat if you've been there, when you realize you can't go back. You cannot knock on the same door. You can't go back to that guy again. You can't go back to that career again. You're done. You got to close that door. So it's a place of transition. And at that time that I was, kicked out of the life I knew, I also knew I was putting off my dream of being an author forever. I was tired of making money from things I didn't care about. I wanted to do something that mattered, and that mattered to me. And so type G in the chat. Is anybody looking to make a difference? Like, are you looking to finally step in and make a difference and own your power, which is what we're going to explore these next 3 days? You're ready to grab the spotlight and go, here's my fucking gift. I'm ready to share that with you now. Now I'm probably going to get kicked off on YouTube. And so as I sat there at home and I was trying to, make sense of it all, figure out what I was going to do next, I just started writing, and I had no intention at that time. I never thought this was going to end up being a book or anything. I just had to get it out of my body. And I probably wrote straight for 48 hours. I had that first sketch of a book, then turned it into a screenplay, and then I turned it into a novel. And so type B in the chat if anybody here is here because they want to write a book, or if they're writing a book, or it's a memoir, or it's a piece of fiction, or whatever it is. Type B if you're here today for a book. So after that, I finally committed to my book and getting published. But before I knew what that was, I was just dumping out my feelings. And it turned out to be really cathartic and healing, which is what we're exploring in this workshop today, right? The creative arts and the healing aspect of that. And so that's the power of art. That's the power of transcendence. Having experienced what we experience and then finding a way to turn it into something beautiful. So for me, art, and whatever that is for you, if it's writing, if it's painting, if it's music, it's about self-expression. It's about healing. It's spiritual too. I say this all the time. I don't know if I'm writing this stuff or if it's writing me. If I'm channeling, like Francesca was talking, I go into a trance and something is moving through me, and where it's coming from, I don't always know. But we're going to have a chance to explore that today. So thank you all for being here with me, and we'll get started. So, so what's a hero's journey, you may be asking? That's what we're going to explore. So today I'm going to play some soft, meditative, reflective music, and I will be asking you questions and prompting you along the way. And there's a great book out there for the writers in the room. Sorry, I'm just going to sip water. It's called Save the Cat. I first read Save the Cat Writes a Screenplay. But there's Save the Cat Writes a Novel too. And so what they do is they break down a book into beats, benchmarks, milestones. And I love it. I love the way they frame it. But the fact is, they aren't inventing anything new. These beats, these moments in a hero's journey have been around from the beginning of time. Like Francesca was talking about caveman art. I believe that they were telling stories back then, and they were using the same hero's journey template. I think it's in our DNA, and I think it's even God's blueprint for our lives, and everybody's got one. So we're going to look at what are these moments, so you can maybe even start to reframe or articulate some of the things that are happening to you in your life, if that's what you want to explore in this hour. And you can start to chart your own hero's journey. Or if you're writing a book and you've got a character in mind, you can do it with your character in mind, that you're charting their own hero's journey. If you're a writer, if anybody's a writer, would you type F in the chat if you're writing fiction? And type M if anybody, whether you started it or not, you've got a memoir on your mind and in your heart. And maybe you don't have any book, and you didn't come here to write a book, but you know you're ready to take your life on. And so that means examining your life through a new lens. Perhaps you're going to retell the past. You're going to rewrite the future. Type R if you're ready to take your life on and reinvent your story. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, great. So in a moment, Lucia is going to play some music. So grab a pen, pencil, grab a journal, close the door, go somewhere quiet and where you can be at peace and reflect. And we're going to play some music. And first we're going to start off just with the meditation to get in flow. So Lucia, you can start playing now, and if they can hear me, great, and if not, they can just start to zone out. So we're going to start by taking a few deep breaths. So you guys can keep your eyes closed if you want. I'm just gonna give you a few prompts because the music is, I can't speak at the same time. So wherever you were in your meditation, I want you to picture the person who's walking. And if you can, remember there's no wrong answers. Notice the shoes you're wearing. And maybe they're yours and maybe they're somebody else's. Who is that person? You can just picture it for now, and I'll give you a few minutes to journal about it afterwards. But who's that person? What are they feeling in this moment? What do they desire? What do they miss? What do they regret? And now you can open your eyes, and I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to journal, and I can put those prompts in the chat as well. Yes. you. So you'll have a bit more time. If you haven't finished writing your thoughts down, you'll have a bit more time in about a minute. I'm just going to give you a few more prompts. And so I'm going to ask, and then I'll post these in the chat. The things I'm going to prompt you on next is, what problem is your hero facing? Again, it could be you, it could be a fictional character, whoever you want to focus on today. What problem is your hero facing? What does she want? What is her goal? And then third, what does she really need that perhaps she doesn't realize yet, or until the last third of her book? That's her transformation. And you might not know the answer to that, and that's okay. So I'll post these in the chat, and let's see, it's going to play some music, and we'll have a few more minutes to journal on that. Great. So again, you'll have more time to journal if there's something that you want to continue with. So that's the through line, what you just did now. So those three things, the problem, the want or the goal, and the need, are going to be the things that inform your hero's entire journey from the start of this story to the end, when she finally becomes the person she was destined to be. So according to Save the Cat, there are 5 foundation beats. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to journal on each of these. I guess we'll have about maybe 10 minutes. So I'll post these in the chat too, because I can't ask the question at the same time the music is playing. So I'll just briefly explain now, and then I'll post them in the chat. But the 5 foundation beats are interesting. I only have 4 here. I love it. Okay, well, these are the ones I thought were really important today. There's like 13 beats, but these are the ones that I really want to explore with you guys today. So the first one is catalyst. So that's the event or thing that kicks the character out of their status quo, right? So I was talking to you guys earlier. I've been fired again. I knew I could go back. That was my catalyst. Everything changed. The thing that changed everything, right? So what's the catalyst? It could be a divorce. It could be losing a job. It could be having a child. It's something that changes the day-to-day existence for this person. And it happens, in the first third of the story. And midlife is a thing, right? So it's also like it happens at these sort of rites of passage moments, these moments of transition in their life. Not everything had to happen 0 to 10. It can happen when you're 40 or 50 or 60. So this is this big momentous thing that happens. And so then break into 2, and I'll post this in the chat. This is, what does the world look like for this person? They're no longer necessarily going to that 9 to 5 job every day. So what is happening in their life now in this new space that they're at? Maybe it was a breakup, right? Now they're single. What is life looking like there? So that, there's that moment in this person's life. And then we reach midpoint. Midpoint's a really juicy place to play. So this is where your hero has a false victory or a false defeat. If you're watching a movie, if you're watching maybe a season of a TV show, not one episode, this is where you feel like you reach the end, but you know that there's a whole other hour to the movie, but it feels like the end because they've either lost or they won. And you know that this is not it. This is not the final battle because there's a whole other hour to this movie. So that's midpoint. And it can be a big win or it can be a big loss. And so is your hero able to make things better, or is everything worse? Yeah. And then there's break into 3, which is also a really interesting space, which is where your hero begins to take everything they've learned, all the ups and downs, to make different choices. And that's where they leave their old self behind and they become their new self and begin to take steps in this new direction. So I'm going to post these in the chat right now, and I'm going to give you guys, if you want to post the music, play the music, Lucia, I'll give them about 5 minutes to journal. I'll redo my math. Okay. Okay. That's great. I'm glad. So I'm going to go off script here for a moment, and I'm going to dive into the space of fiction, whether you're focusing on your life story or a book you want to write, regardless of whether it's true or false. I'm going to take you into the space of fiction. You have permission to make shit up. And what I'm going to ask you to journal about next, and what I want you to reflect on, is what is the best thing that can happen to your hero? And I'm going to invite you to swing all the way, because it is fiction after all. So this can be your happy ending. This can be your character's happy ending. You get to go all the way on this one. And we call this the finale. So Lucia is going to play some music, and we'll have a few more minutes to journal. So now everything in between break into 3 and the finale is how your hero gets to her a happy ending. And now that part is up to you to figure out. So if you've been working on you this hour, I invite you to set a few goals that are going to lead toward the happy ending scenario that you envisioned. And if it's a fictional character you've had in mind during this time together, you can do this exercise with them in mind and just think about the different steps that are leading to their transformation and the finale. So for some people, it might be launching a new business. It might be a family vacation. If you're writing a book, maybe this is your first draft. So you can take a few minutes now to journal on what comes up for you in response to these prompts, and I'll write them in the chat as well. So what is the first goal toward your hero's happily ever after? Name one goal you can complete this week. It gets to be a little goal. And it could be the first step for your character, the first step they take in this new direction. Or for you, it's a goal that you can set that's small and attainable and achievable inside this week. Thank you, Lucia. And then after that, you can think about the next milestone, the next stepping stone. So what's the goal you can complete in the next month, in the next 30 days? So it's going to be a little bit bigger. It's going to be a little bit more challenging and that much more fulfilling. So what's the goal that you can complete in the next month, in the next 30 days? And then finally, name one goal you can complete inside the next 6 months to 1 year. So this gets to be a biggie. It may be even the biggest breakthrough yet for you or your character. And that when this goal is accomplished, you're going to have achieved something new and transformed and achieve a transformed version of yourself. So I'll give you guys a few minutes to write on that. So that's it for my workshop today. How is everybody feeling? I would love to hear from you in the chat. Let me know if, did you learn something new? I can't wait to hear all about it after Paula. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you, you guys. Did you learn something new about yourself or your character? Oh, Thea, okay. Oh, no worries, Thea. I hope you feel better. I hope you feel better. Do you have a clear vision for yourself or for your protagonist? Anybody have some takeaways? Feel free to post it in the chat. And so otherwise, thank you all for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed exploring your life story or your book, if that's what you chose to focus on. I hope you see there's always an opportunity to rewrite your story and that everything is happening for you to help you become the best version of yourself. And I hope you realize that you truly are your own author of your own biography, even the parts that you haven't written yet. If you'd like to continue this work, if you want to keep jamming with me, Lucia is going to post a link in the chat. I am happy to hop on a call with anybody for a free vision exploration call. Maybe it's a book for those of you that have a book on your heart, but even if it's a passion project, thank you. Even if it's a passion project or something else that came up for you today, I'm happy to hop on a call and support you any way I can. And there's a few different ways that I can support, so I'll share that in an upcoming email. And I'm just going to leave you with a quote that my son's grade 8 class valedictorian, she finished her speech, and I'm totally going to steal it right now because it was so awesome. And so I'm going to leave you with this line, which is that I hope that may your autobiography be the thickest book on your bookshelf. Thank you for joining me today. Oh, I love it, Mom. Thank you. That's great. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. So we have Alida is joining us. She's going to be starting in a few minutes. Does anybody have any questions for me before I introduce our next speaker? I'm happy to answer any questions, bounce any ideas.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Are you going to, will you send out all those steps again? I mean, I wrote them down, but I want to do it again, like in a deeper dive.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. What to do? Let me post a link in the chat. Let me post a link in the chat and you can just email. Where's my, let me try posting a link here.
And I was doing this as myself, creating my future.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah. It's so great just to again, it's just reframing. It's reframing our life story and then doing it in an empowering way to see it as all steps that is, moving toward us where we want to go. And
yeah.
And the fact that the future is unwritten.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. So anything is possible. And
yeah, I actually really like diving into the catalyst because I am in the process of totally upturning my life. And like just to try to figure out what was the actual catalyst. Like I have a list of 5 things and I'm like, I don't know which one was actually the catalyst. So I get to look at all of them. But I recently left my career to start my own business. So yeah. So I'm like in the middle of that. I'm like totally like writing my own story right now. So
yeah, I love it. I love it. Maybe it's a book series.
Well, I did write like in the future part, like what the happily ever after is. I was like, oh, I didn't know I was gonna write a book, but I guess now I am.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and you come from leadership too, right? So there can be a lot of different interpretations of catalyst. It can be something that happened when you were a child. It can be something that you happened as a teenager, but it's really about moving toward this next chapter for yourself.
Right.
And that story, I'm going to go off topic here, but that story helps you write any founding story, any why story, any enrollment story. that's what people connect to is
Right.
where you came from and how you use that to become who you became ultimately, or becoming. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, you guys. Awesome. Well, I get to introduce our next speaker, Alida. Let me pull up my. So thank you. There's some new faces joining us. Thank you for everybody who is joining us anew and joining us for this final hour today of the Magical You virtual retreat. We just had a lot of fun talking about the stories we tell ourselves, about ourselves, or even looking at it from a fictional standpoint for those of us who have a book in mind. So I'm excited for our next speaker, Alida Del Bianco. Welcome, Alida. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello, hello. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine. I'm going to make sure that I got you there. Okay, great. And so
Great. And you see me and you hear me?
I see you. Yes. Very good. Awesome. So Alida is going to show us how to embrace the goddess within, including a meditation and guided visualization for self-realization. Alida is an energy healer who uses everything from spiritual Vedic traditions to energy healing, to hypnotherapy and mental coaching to help more than 20,000 people from all over the world on their healing journeys and on their spiritual path to self-realization. Alida strives to help humanity to rise above their wounds and contribute to the healing process of the divine feminine by inviting others to join her in a unique experience of healing and reinventing yourself in synchronicity with your genuine soul mission. And I love when you talk about soul mission. Like I really get excited about that. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for this great introduction.
And I'll let you take over.
Okay, welcome everyone. I'm very happy to be here today. I hope you can hear me and see me well. Yes, you do? Great. I'm in Croatia, far away from you. Here is summer and it's afternoon, so you are in the morning yet, but here is just end of the day. So it's really great to be here, and I am very grateful to could share with you this hour. Would love you to be active in the chat, and if you have any questions and you want me to come into something that is of your interest, I would love you to be active, interactive. So the more you open up for this conversation, the more you will receive from me and from the source. So because we are creating this space where we connect, and when we set our intention, we know that this is the first step of any manifestation. So how are you doing? You having fun today? Yes? Are you having fun? Yes, the speakers before me were entertaining, and I'm sure you learned a lot already. Yeah, today is a very special day. Today is solstice, and it's also International Day of Yoga. So I started this day with amazing class with my students in the forest. We were already there free in the morning, very early in the morning, just to, you know, say how much we appreciate our journey. So it is many things happening today. And it's, of course, I'm guest in this amazing company of beautiful souls that are all over the world. So great. As Kate already told you, my name is Alida Del Bianco. I am Croatian and half Italian, as you can hear in my name and in my accent, of course. I'm sure you can hear that. And I was born in Istria. This is part of Croatia that is very near to Italy. And here I am now again. I was traveling long years in my journey, always trying to get more knowledge, more wisdom, and started my journey 30 years ago with Reiki. That was like my first energy healing technique that came to me when I was waiting my second daughter, because I'm mother and grandmother also. So my second daughter, the middle one, Lucy, like our Lucy. So she came with me with Reiki. Actually, Reiki and her came together, and she's still with me. She's teaching yoga. She's yoga teacher. She's healer. So we are like a healing and healer family, all of us. And and so it came everything actually with my healing, because I started I would say the life that was on some level meant for me, but it was not the real life. It was like preparation for something that came through my healing journey. I studied philosophy and languages, and I do speak some languages, so I have this ability to communicate with people in different countries, in different cultures, and philosophy, of course, gave me this knowledge of preparing myself for actually something that was already there before I even get to know that is there. So that was like the preparation. And I realized through this journey, it came a moment where I was going through I was not aligned with my mission, and the source, the universe, brought to me some challenges to remind me of what is my real mission. And of course, I started to work intensely on myself, and was during my healing journey discovering different modalities. And as Kate already told you, from Reiki and through different energy healings, and recently Ayurveda came also in my life, and yoga, and it was just everything coming. But my healing journey was actually the start of everything. And in this moment, I have joined all this, what I have been through, my life experience, and also my experience with my clients, because I work with, especially with women that are resonating with me. And I see that now is very important to heal us, and to give this space and offer this space to not heal only ourselves, but also heal the collective. And through us actually is rising the new wave of energy, the new golden age, as we call it in this also Vedic tradition. So it's actually the age when the woman is getting back her power, because through healing us, through healing our past, which was a past, we know how it was. So I'm not going to remind you of the past of our mothers and grandmothers and everything we have been through, because we know it and you know it. It is recorded in your DNA and is there, but in order to give this collective consciousness a healing, it's extremely important to heal ourselves, because through us, through woman that is healed, that is again in her space, our collective will heal. So we are actually offering this opportunity through healing us to heal the collective, and to heal also the sacred masculine, because we are actually one, and we are separated just because of some influences that wanted us to be separated. And actually separation is an illusion. We know that we are all one and we are all interconnected. As you can feel me, I can feel you. And what you are going through is I'm also going through. This is important to know, that we are energy beings that are vibrating on certain energy level, and is according to what we are emanating, what we are creating in our reality, is actually the resonance of our vibration. So to shift our vibration from the vibration that we are now and that we are like seeing, and we acknowledge and we know that there is something missing in this society, is actually the vibration of us, that is the woman that is oppressed, the woman that is not ready to embrace her power, the woman that is not ready to own her voice and set her intention really into the world and create the magic that we are able to. Because it's very interesting, when I was learning yoga when I was in India some years ago, my philosophy teacher told me once that actually yoga is written for men because they need yoga, and a woman in itself, in its nature, is already yoga. I'm sure you know what means yoga. Yoga means in Sanskrit union of body, mind, and soul. So we already have this union in us. So woman is yoga, and all the sacred books are written, yoga books are written for men, not for women. And she was very confused about that, and she asked why. And she realized, yes, because we are divine creatures, and we are all divine. I mean, but we, as we have this ability to create life in ourselves, we have ability to create life in all aspects. Woman is the nurturer, is the creator, is the nurturer, is the one that is preserving life, it's creating life, and is the one that through her heart, through her compassion, through her energy, can create amazing reality. But of course, we need the opposite. We need also the sacred masculine. So the sacred masculine and the divine feminine together can create this reality. But we are not waiting for sacred masculine to create it for us, because we are the creators. We are the ones that are actually giving birth to this new earth. I am not, can you hear me well? Mic drop, microphone, you hear me? Yes? You don't hear me at all? You hear me? It's okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Woman is yoga. Yes, we are yoga. Exactly. Okay, you are with me. I was already thinking, wow, I'm talking to myself, but you are with me. Great. Well, I'm far away from you, but this connection makes it possible to feel you and to feel you anyhow. Without internet, we would feel the energy, because I can feel you from the other parts of the Atlantic Ocean. You are with me. Great. And this is how we are here now to awaken to this true nature, actually to remember our true nature, because through history, if we look back, we have been oppressed, we have been dominated. Why? Because of our power, because our power is so big and so huge and so amazing that we have been oppressed because of that, because we could really create amazing realities. And this is why this happened to women. But we are now creating a new reality. I'm so happy that the Kali Yuga, this period of darkness and domination of low energies, is over, and we are stepping into this new reality. So that's why I created an amazing class where I am teaching 8 steps how to really embody the goddess, how to really step into this power. Through different steps, we can go into deeper understanding of what is limiting us, what is on the way to embrace the goddess. Okay, and these 8 steps are like very easy steps, but they require really commitment to your growth. And this is what is needed to really be ready to embrace this transformation. It is a journey of awakening, and I'm sure you are feeling that this is happening, the journey of awakening. We are all in different stages, but it's really happening. It is going on, and we know and we feel it. And through the last 2-3 years, everything what was going on in the collective, in the world, brought us to this moment that we see that the awakening is there. Many people awaken to their true power. So for us to embrace this power and see who we are, is important to acknowledge our energy, to see where our energy is blocked and where the energy is not flowing through our body and through our energy body. I don't know if you have been already doing some meditation and you have knowledge about our energy system. If you connect with yourself and in meditation, then I'm sure you are connecting with your energy, and you know that this is something that is moving in you. But it's also important to know that these energy blocks on our chakras are created through our life and could also be transmitted from our ancestors, and from not only from our ancestors, but also from the collective consciousness. So as we know, our mind is programmed, especially our subconscious mind is programmed to create, actually we are creating for the subconsciousness. If we would develop our consciousness, if we would expand our consciousness, then we would create from consciousness, but we are very much still creating from this subconscious programming, which is there to make us feeling away from our nature. They were actually for reasons that we don't have now time to go deeper why this happened, but if you would like to go deeper, we can, maybe next time when we see us, we could go deeper into why this happened. But our potential, our divine potential is not developed in us. I mean, is there, but through the programming that happened in our life, in our childhood, through genetics from our parents, or also through the collective and to different influences from collective, we change this, and we are creating from this space that is not us. So you are creating from your subconsciousness, which is the limiting programming that we are all somehow participating in it, till the moment that we are finally free from this, and to go really into these blockages on energy level in our chakras or in the level of our subconsciousness, we need to do a healing work. And of course, there is also this part of traumatic experiences that we have been through as humans. We came here to Earth to experience this soul evolution. So we came here to Earth to grow, to transmute, to evolve, to expand, to grow through experiences, to embody through the opposites of different situations we are learning. Actually, we are going into deeper understanding of our nature. So this is actually the main goal of our incarnation, of our stay here on Earth in this lifetime, is to evolve. Is to understand who we actually are and why we came here in first place. Yeah, but when we are coming here in the moment that we are incarnating on this earthly plane, because the vibration here is lower than it is in our origins, where we are from, star seeds from different dimensions. Our souls are everywhere in different places, I would say, where the vibration is much higher, where we are vibrating in unconditional love and compassion and the highest forms of energy. And here is different. So we are coming here into this earthly plane to learn through this harsh and dense energy how to overcome those experiences. And this is why we are going through traumatic situations, we are going through challenges, we are going through diseases, we are creating. I can really emphasize, and I really would like to say to you clearly that we are creating those situations. It's from this subconsciousness, it's from these blockages, it's from our soul intention when we are coming here in order to grow. We are creating situations that from the earthly plane and from this perspective are dramatic and are painful, and sometimes we are suffering because of that. But in reality, this is illusion. This is only illusion. This is how the universe is showing us that we are here to evolve, we are here to transform, we are here to learn through the opposites. And this is why we are forgetting everything in the moment that we are incarnating and coming here into this earthly plane. We are actually forgetting about our main soul mission, why we came here in the first place. Well, I can tell you my story because it's very interesting, why I came here and why I choose my family as my family and why I went through everything in my life. I can see it clearly now because everything is just coming into the right place now, and I know why. But it was for me challenging to recognize and to see it when I was going through, because I was seeing this through earthly perception. Now I can see it in the moment that I healed and I transformed those situations. I can see it clearly and I understand why. Well, I choose a family. I came here, I chose Croatia to come here in Pula, in Croatia. That was my choice. Everything is our choice. We are choosing the place, we are choosing our parents, we are choosing also the date and exact astrological situation in the sky. So nothing is coincidence. I'm sure you agree with me. We are choosing everything. We are coming here with a purpose in the certain moment. We are here and we know why we are going here. But in the moment that we are going through the birth channel and we come out to Earth and we connect with this energy of Earth, we are in amnesia. We don't know why we came here. And I knew before, I knew it, but I could not remember, as we don't remember, because this is the way how actually we are protected. This is protection. The amnesia is a kind of protection. And it's also necessary to go through certain experiences, because if we would know everything, we would somehow find a way to escape some challenges or something that we plan for us. And I can remember now my guides asked me before I went and left for Earth, they asked me, are you sure? Do you really want this? I can remember now, but you know, it was needed some time for me to remember that. And actually the story is like this. I came in a good family. My parents are good parents, but they were very, very busy, and they were business people. They were always talking about business. They were working very much. they were never there. They were not present. And as a sensitive child, as I was, I needed attention. All the children, they need attention, they need love. This is the way how we feel here, to be welcome on earth, and this is what we all need. But I could not get this love. I could not receive because my parents were not there. And they were always present, but not really present. They were not seeing me for who I was, a sensitive child that was talking with angels, that was living in her fantasies and was like going around in forests, talking with trees and seeing fairies and all this. They were just not having the sensibility to see who I was. And it came a moment in my life when I decided I would do everything. I would change, I would do everything to get love from them, to be accepted, to be loved, to be nourished, because that was one of my biggest needs, as for all of us is. So slowly, I started to change. I started to shut down. I started to adapt to this reality. But I clearly remember that many times I was asking myself, what I'm doing here? This must be a wrong place. That must be a wrong planet. That must be a wrong family. Something is not. I clearly remember those situations, those questions in my mind that were just repeating continuously. And I was like, oh my God, what I'm doing here. And then I see, well, adaptation. This is what we can do, humans. If it's not going like we want, then we adapt. This is our survival instincts that are kicking in. So, I adapted. And in order to be loved and accepted, I was showing all the time that I'm the best. I was doing everything just as perfect as it could be, the best notes at school, the best results, the best husband, the best children, the best education, the best university, the best jobs, the best career, top of the top, just to get, acceptance, just to get love. But I was not getting that because that was missing in me. I could not get something that was not in me. So I realized, okay, I need to go there deep. I need to heal these parts of me. I need to see what is missing there. And this is actually how my healing journey started, because I already manifested on my body the typical disorder that is, I'm sure, and I see this in my clients. There are many women are coming with problems with thyroid gland, because this is where we express our identity, our truth, our true voice. This is the chakra of purest intention, purest emotions, purest thoughts. This is where you are who you are. So, of course, not saying my truth and pretending to be the perfect, successful woman. I'm laughing now because I can laugh, but it was not very funny when I was going through this. So the best part of this, that now I'm really relaxed about that, because I know and I have been there, and I know how painful it was, this emptiness, depression, thyroid gland. But then I said to myself, I need to find a way to come out, and I did. And since then I just transformed completely. Not only me, but my whole family, my children, and everything was like completely transformed. And seeing my truth and expressing my truth was liberating. And of course, the energy that started to flow through my chakras again gave me the opportunity to remember my true mission. And actually, I came here to be a healer. And I was going through this family just not getting love and acceptance in order to learn what is unconditional love, because healer is the one that is embodying the unconditional love. I mean, we are all unconditional love. This is our nature, but healer is the one that is here to go through this channel of unconditional love is connecting to the source and is actually living the unconditional love here, is bringing unconditional love to earth, a love without condition, loving even if you are not accepted, you are not loved, you do everything and still you are not having love. And I did all this journey to learn, and that was my soul mission, to learn what it is really unconditional love, what it means, what is the embodiment of unconditional love, because we can understand on mental level many things. We humans, we have amazing capacity. Our brain is amazing, but till the moment that we have this knowledge in our heart, this is our, I would say, our main brain, because through the heart wisdom, we can really attract amazing energy, because this is resonating with us. You know, this is who we are. There is the real wisdom in our heart. Brain and mind is just a tool that is serving our heart. And when we really live from this heart wisdom, from the knowledge of our heart, we can then attract the real life to us, where we feel the joy of every morning, when we feel the happiness of just being alive, when we are laughing and we are joyful just because we are, and we recognize this ecstasy of creation through exactly. I am reading something very interesting, Lucia. Thank you. Dogs, of course, unconditional love. Dogs are amazing teachers for us. Unconditional love, exactly. And cats, by the way, are teaching us how to connect with our higher wisdom. Cats are healers, and they are coming into our lives as healers or as helpers, and they are very wise and very elevated species. So cats are very important on this journey. I mean, cats and dogs are our amazing teachers. Everyone, everything with what is coming on our path is our teacher. Okay, so that was my journey. This is how I recognized that I came here to be a healer. And then I left my career, my business, my material belongings. I mean, I did not left them. I just detached from everything what was limiting me. I needed to learn detachment and surrender, and how to be who am I without conditions from this earthly plane. Exactly, detach from everything that is holding you back. Thank you, Brandy. Thank you, thank you. I'm receiving, yes, I can see you. I see you. I already knew this is you. Very nice. And that was my journey, amazing. And since then, I just started to give this what I became. That was a huge, big, amazing blessing for me. And I just want to give this now to my friends, to my sisters, to my community. And I'm so happy that I'm invited here in this podcast to give you also opportunity to ask me any question that you may have, and also to remind you that through my unique healing method that was created through my experience and its combination of many different modalities, I can support you, I can guide you, and I can give you insight for you on your journey. And I prepared something for you. today we have gifts for you. I will tell you later. There are 2 amazing gifts for you waiting. But before we go, we have 3 gifts today. Actually, 2 you will become per email, and 1 is going to be live very shortly now. But before we go there, I would like you now to ask me something, because we still have time, like 10 minutes, for some nice questions. How long did the transition journey take you? Well, 30 years, I would say. My whole life is my journey, I would say. Everything is part of this journey. Even my career before that, everything before was a part of this journey, because I needed to go to certain experiences to awaken to my potential. And everything started 30 years ago with Reiki, and then everything came spontaneously, one after another. And there are steps, and we are going through certain steps. And when we feel like we are there, we are now on that beautiful place where we are like enjoying, and then is the next step, and then is the next step, and then we reach a point when we really connect with our heart. And when we open our heart, when the energy is flowing through our chakras and our heart is open, then is everything is there. But it's very individual, and is actually already programmed in your DNA. And every one of us has its own program, his own divine timing, his own timing of awakening. Have you written a book about your awakening? Yeah, I wrote not a complete book, but I wrote a story. I wrote a story in one book that is the Ignite, also from Canada, publisher from Canada. Ignite books series, maybe you know, they wrote about different topics, and I wrote in 2 books, Ignite the Modern Goddess and Ignite Love. And my awakening moment, the Ignite moment in my life, I described in Ignite Love. So this is exactly what happened and how it happened, this deep awakening, this moment when I said, okay, now I am, when you recognize, when you know, now I am, you know, there is no I'm this, I'm that, I am this presence, I am presence, and I feel everything, and I know, and I'm connected, and I know that everything in my life happened with a reason, and I know why. Yes. In the future, I'm planning to write a book, about this. But now in this moment, I am teaching the class. It's an online class, and I'm sure from this class will come a book. I'm sure. My class is called Exponential Expansion. So, exponential expansion. Okay, great question. Just quit my career to start my own journey of healing. Just got my Reiki masters. Congratulations. Yes. Yeah. Great, great. Reiki is amazing, amazing tool. It's really great. It's really great because you learn with Reiki how to work with energy. You learn how to, you master energy. You master, you see, you are opening up your energy body, you are opening your chakras, and through Reiki you can also work on distance, you can heal on distance, you can send healing, and it's really amazing tool to develop your intuition and also your psychic skills. Slowly you start to feel, to see, to know, to, you know, all of these psychic skills that are developing. Yes, really, congratulations. Great. Well, do you have any more questions for me?
Yeah, I have a question, I guess. So I always thought, so anybody can do that?
Of course, of course. We are all energy. We are vibrating. First of all, we all can heal. Of course, we are here to heal. Our journey here is to heal. We came here to heal, to expand, to evolve. This is our journey. And some of us will discover on this journey that we are healer. We are born healers. I was teaching a class. Actually, it started with a session with one lady. She needed my help, and I was doing healing sessions with her. And then she told me, I feel I am a healer. I want from you to teach me how to be a healer. And she's now a healer. And many of my students, because you see, this is so inspiring when you see how you are healing and how your life has transformed and how you are just vibrating and your life is just, everything is just developing as it should be. You're just inspiring others to take these steps. So for everyone, we are all healers. We are all energy beings. We have this in us, but in some of us is blocked for some reasons. And in my class, we are working on these blockages. We are removing the blockages. Yeah, we are all healers. Great. Do you have any more questions for me? Let me have some water. You don't have questions. So I was very clear. Or I was not clear at all.
Alida, I have a question, may be related or not.
Yes.
But I do have
a
question that I hope I know you can answer.
Yeah.
It is said that the way we do one thing, we do everything. You're familiar with the concept.
Yes.
The way we feel works the same way. The way we feel when we love the same. Of course, there are degrees of love and there is intensity in love. But what I'm asking you is based on something that I read in the chat just a little bit before, coming from Paola. I know she's talking about unconditional love. And I know some people are blessed with that quality. Others have to work a little more intense. Can you have unconditional love for humanity and not for yourself?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You can. You can. But you need to learn how to love yourself also. This is part of the journey. But healers, we love more humanity than we love ourselves. But till the moment that we really learn how to love ourselves, we are not completely ready. So we really, this is the shadow work, the trauma work. We are not having this unconditional love for ourselves because of something what happened to us. We are, our nature is unconditional love. This unconditional love is there, but for some reason is blocked and we are not feeling it. It's there. So we have we are convinced that we are not actually unconditionally loving ourselves because we have other criteria for ourselves than we have for others. But this is only because the unconditional love is blocked for something that happened to us. Maybe it happened to our ancestors, or maybe it's just our karma that we are going through, but is there. So is there. We just need to discover it. That was a great question. Thank you so much, Brenda.
Thank you, Alida.
Thank you. Wow. Yes, I want more questions. That was a great question. Okay, I see we have like 15 minutes. I will share now with you a link. Before we go to meditation, I will guide you now in a live meditation. But before we go to the meditation, because after meditation, you know, we will be spaced out. So maybe I will forget the link. Here is the link where you can get, is written in the chat box. You can write it down and you can already go there, or just you can click on that link. This is the link where your presents are waiting for you. And there is one recorded meditation, 20 minutes meditation, forgiveness meditation, because forgiveness is the first step. And this is very important, also connected to your question, Brenda, forgiveness for ourselves. This is a guided meditation where we can really go through all our relationships, our parents, our partners, whoever we feel like we have resentment, because forgiveness is like the first step to grow into unconditional love. Through forgiveness, we are opening our heart. Forgiveness is the key to open our heart. And this is a guided meditation that you can hear and is recorded, so you can go through different people, but start with yourself, because when you forgive yourself, you will find a place of unconditional love towards yourself, and you will understand why you have created situations in your life, and you will see yourself through unconditional love. So this is a great tool, and you can really use it as much as you want, and just it's 20 minutes, it's amazing. You will feel a difference. This is like something that I am really giving you with my heart, and I have been sharing this meditation with many of my students and my clients, and they all have just told me how amazing this is. Even me myself, sometimes I'm hearing this guided meditation, you know. I'm guiding myself in meditation. And another, in this link, you can download like an ebook where I am also giving you some more insights on how to work on yourself, how to understand what are you creating, how to see your chakras, how to see your energy, and how to see into your relationships, because through relationships we are actually reflecting. Relationships are reflections of what we need to heal. Our people that are coming into our life are the mirrors, so we see through relationships. Could be a great way to show you where are your blockages and what you need to work on. So this is like a journal. You can have your time, everything is written there, how to do it. And please, this is my offer for you, so enjoy it. And there is also my contact. If you want to contact with me and you have any feedback, any question, please do not hesitate to contact with me. Relationships are reflections of what we get to heal. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Kat. They are. So everyone is coming in our life to teach us something. We need to know that. Okay, now we have 10 minutes more, and I would like to guide you in a meditation. So please get really comfortable. You can sit on your chair, you can sit on the floor, whatever. What is important, that your spine is straight, that you have this energy flowing through your main channel in your spine. And just we are going to have a nice meditation with some downloads. Downloads are energies, vibration that is downloaded into your energy field. Okay, so just close your eyes and inhale deeply. And connect with your breath. Feel your breath. Feel your heart. Connect with your heart. Hear your heartbeat. See this beautiful green light emanating from your heart in your energy field all around you. Your heart is emanating unconditional love. Let everything go. Your mind is still. You are in the present moment, in here and now. Feel it. Feel the energy expanding. Feel your heart is connecting with all the hearts. We are creating this amazing energy together. Our hearts are connected. We are creating a circle of love, compassion, understanding. We are all one. There is no separation. We are on the oneness field of unlimited possibilities. Feel this expansion from your body into your energy body, into the space. You are in your temple, connected with your wisdom. See there, feel there. Just ask, who am I? And sit in your temple and feel. There is maybe not a concrete answer, but you feel. There is a feeling. There is an energy. This lightness of your soul. Just be there and listen, hear. Your heart. And now I'm going to download an energy, a vibration. If this is resonating with you, you just mentally consent and say yes. Would you like to know what it feels like to know who you are? And that is your goddess nature that is revealed to you with grace and ease. That it's easy for you to walk the path of healing, transformation, and awakening into your greatest potential, living your soul mission and your soul purpose here on earth in this lifetime. If this is resonating with you, just say yes mentally and be open to receive. And now we are coming back. Bring your consciousness back to your body. Inhale deeply a few times. Connect with your body. And whenever you feel ready, you can slowly open your eyes. How are you feeling, goddesses? Thank you so much. I love to connect with you. Glad to hear it. Yeah, just got the best message I have received in a long time. Oh, thank you, Paula. What was the most important step on your transition? What would you avoid next time if you could? Well, I would avoid. This is a very good question. Maybe I would not, I don't know, I would not avoid anything. I think now looking back, everything was perfect. Everything was perfect. And it was supposed to be like that, and it was in the right moment. Everything is happening with a reason. Okay, good messages. Empty of unserving energy, open to the messages, love, purity, beautiful, thank you, lightness of being, knowing on my path. Thank you, goddesses. You received beautiful messages. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so happy we connected. And thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you, Alida. That was an incredible hour. That feels like I feel like we went into a different time and space.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, me too. We traveled together to a different, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, fascinating hour. You're incredible. Thank you so much for sharing your gifts and your story with us today. You're amazing. And
I'm not hearing. I have it's like
oh, can you hear me okay?
My internet connection. Let me just see what is going on with my internet connection. Something is, I don't hear you. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Do you hear me?
I can hear you.
You hear me, but I'm just, it's like cutting. Anyhow, it was working perfectly 1 hour, now it's time.
We traveled and then, oh, you can't hear me either. Oh, it's just me. Okay. You can't hear me either. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Kat is very, very low.
Yes.
Yeah, you can hear me now, but
yeah, tiny bit, exactly. You are still there traveling, Kat.
I love it.
Just part of you is back, but your voice is still there in the space.
That is so funny.
We hear you. You are fine. Your music was not fine, but your vocal.
Hilarious. I love it. Well, can you hear me as I wrap up, you guys? Can you hear me a little bit?
Yes, we hear you a little bit. Yes.
Thank you so much. That was incredible. That was incredible. Do we have your information in the chat as well? And I know I will be sending emails for anybody who's registered. You'll get an email. But Lucia, were you able to post in the chat?
Yes, there is in a chat box is link to download the information, and everything is there. This is like a landing page with information about me and what I'm doing. And also I'm holding live webinars. Maybe if you would like to register, I am having one tomorrow. It's 90 minutes. So if you would like to join on Wednesday, every Wednesday, I am having live webinars. And my class, Exponential Expansion class, is a 8-week class, is starting soon in July.
I'm sure everybody's going to want to stay connected with you. This was an amazing, amazing hour. This was an amazing day. Thank you to yourself and Francesca, who was here earlier. Thank you to everybody who was able to join us live. I did get a million messages from people that they'll be watching the replays and the recordings and the scheduling and all of that. But thank you for everybody who was able to share in the energy today and participate. I really appreciate you guys being here today. And if you loved it, be sure to share it, because we have 2 more days of amazing speakers, more of all of this. So please post it, share it. There's still time for people to register. Even on my Instagram, I've now just posted the Zoom link so people can drop in and they can always register later. So thank you all for being here. I'll see you here tomorrow. And I think that's it. But I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. It was great to see all your faces, and I will see you tomorrow, hopefully. Thank you.
Namaste. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.